Alrighty, guys, we're coming off a solid 4-1 day in my 5 personal sports bets on my website yesterday at patreon.com/BrockPage. It's also going to improve our record to 6-1 in our last 7 NBA tier package plays on that site as well. And the good news is we have another NBA tier package bet going off here today. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my Major League Baseball Part 2 video here today. Sometimes I forget what I'm doing. It's our Major League Baseball Part 2 video here today for Wednesday, April 26, 2023. Happy hump day to you. Halfway there. Weekend's right around the corner. My name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. I also sell my personal sports bets on patreon.com/BrockPage. We are once again 6-1 in my last 7 NBA tier package plays on that site. Now, the NBA tier package is a membership that I offer on that site. And if you sign up for that membership here today, you're going to get access to that package for the next 30 days. The math works out to be just 83 cents a day. And as an added bonus, guys, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships for the next 30 days, absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. I currently have over 525 members. We're signed up and active on that site right now. And you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. What I do on my website is I actually share with you which one of these free plays on these videos that I'm actually betting on personally. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Tigers at the Brewers, 1:40 p.m. East. Milwaukee's -$2, totals 8. Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee. Michael Lorenzen for Detroit. Now, Lorenzen's got an ERA in the 6s, and he's yet to record a win. The Tiger lineup also scores a league-worst 2.6 runs a game on the road. They're going to have to face Freddie Peralta here today, who's averaging over a strikeout an inning. He also has a couple of wins on the season with an ERA in the 3s. And even if Freddie struggles here today, this Brewer lineup is scoring nearly 5.5 runs a game in their own building. William Contreras is hitting .309 with 28 total bases. Meanwhile, Rowdy Tellez leads the franchise in homers and runs batted in. Now, injury-wise, Taylor and Mitchell are still out for Milwaukee. Meadows and Miggy Cabrera still out for Detroit. Total-wise, Detroit 64% to the under when they bat first. Milwaukee 4-2 to the under in their last 6. Give me Milwaukee -1.5, under 8. Next game, Royals Diamondbacks, 3:40 p.m. East. Arizona's 260, total 8.5. Gallon for Arizona, Yarbrough for KC. Yarbs is 0-2 with an ERA in the 7s. Royals, second fewest wins in the American League. Touching home plate only 3.4 times a game. They're going to have to face Zach Gallen, 39 strikeouts and just 31 plus, .80 whip. This Arizona lineup also gets a ton of runners on base at Chase Field. They're averaging double-digit hits a game at home. They actually lead the National League in that category. Corbin Carroll, 303 at the plate, OPS in the 900s. Christian Walker, club leader in RBI. Now, injury-wise, Kyle Lewis still on the IL. MJ Melendez questionable for KC. Give me Arizona -1.5, over 8.5. Next game, Dodgers-Pirates, 6:35 East. Dodgers -135, total 8.5. Gonsolin for LA. Contreras for Pittsburgh. Ronzi's got a couple of wins for Pitt, and he averages just about a strikeout an inning. This Pirate pitching staff, they're giving up less than 3.8 runs a game for the entire year. Top 5 in the National League in fewest runs allowed. They're facing a Dodger lineup on the other side who's struggled getting hits this year. Bottom 5 in the entire league in hits per game. Also striking out just about 10 times a game at the dish. Now, injury-wise, Martinez is questionable. Muncy's doubtful. He's on paternity leave still. When it comes to the number, LA is 9-3 to the over as the road team. Pittsburgh saw overs against Colorado, St. Louis, and this very Dodger team just yesterday. Give me Pittsburgh plus 1.5, over 8.5 runs. Next ball game, Astros at the Rays, 6:40 p.m. East. Tampa Bay is $1.20, total 8.5. Foucher for Tampa, Hunter Brown for Houston. Now the Astros have had a tough time offensively against the Rays in recent gatherings. They're averaging just 3.3 runs per contest in their last 10 meetings with Tampa Bay. They're also facing a Rays team who currently leads the majors in run production. Randy Arozarena, 348 at the dish, third in the majors in RBI. Yandy Diaz, Brandon Lau, they have a dozen home runs between the both of them. When it comes to the injury list, Brantley, Altuve, Alvarez, and McCormick, they're all still out for the Stros. Total-wise, Astros 7-3 to the over in their last 10. Tampa Bay 67% to the over at the Trop. Give me Tampa Bay minus 120, over 8.5. Next matchup, M's Phils 640 East. Seattle $1.20, total 8.5. Logan Gilbert, Seattle. Taijuan Walker, Philadelphia. Walker's got a couple of wins. ERA in the threes. The Phils are also in the top 3 in the majors right now in hits per game. Brandon Marsh, he's hitting 357. League best 1.173 OPS. Pache, Sosa, Castellanos, Stott, and Bohm all hitting in the 300s. They're facing Logan Gilbert on the other side, who, I get it, Gilbert's been good. We're not going to take that away from him. But if the Phils can get to this Mariner bullpen, it could mean trouble for Seattle backers. The M's are in the bottom 5 in runs allowed on the road. When it comes to offensive production, these Mariner hitters, they're averaging just 7.5 hits a game. Now, injury-wise, Dylan Moore and Taylor Trammell, they're still out for Seattle. Harper and Hall still out for the Fightins. When it comes to the number, Philly saw overs against the likes of Colorado, the White Sox, and Cincinnati here recently. Seattle, 5 out of their last 9 got over the line. Give me Philly plus $1, over 8.5. Next ball game, Nats, Mets, 710 East. New York 205, total 8.5. Senga for the Mets. Gore for Washington. Mackenzie Gore's walked 14 batters and has a 1.38 whip. And even if Gore has a solid outing, Washington's in the bottom 3 in the National League in run production. They're facing Kodai Senga, 3-0, 25 strikeouts. Meanwhile, at the plate, these patient Mets hitters, they're getting walked nearly 5.5 times a game at Citi Field. Brandon Nimmo, he's hitting 349. Currently leads the club in walks. Meanwhile, Pete Alonso, he's in the top 5 in both home runs and RBI in the entire league. Injury-wise, LeCastro still out for New York. Vargas, Keyboom, Dickerson, Pineda still out for Washington. Scoring-wise, Washington 7-4 to the under in their travels. New York 5 out of their last 7 in Flushing, Queens. Stayed under the total. Mets minus 1.5, under 8.5. Next matchup, Marlins, Braves, 720 East. Atlanta, minus 155, total 8 runs. Bryce Elder for Atlanta. Sandy Alcantara for Miami. Now, Sandy's lost a couple of games already this year. ERA in the 5s. Marlins are also allowing more hits a game on the road than any other team besides one. Stark contrast from last year. They're facing an Atlanta club, top 5 in the National League in run production. Sean Murphy, 6 homers, OPS in the thousands. Ozzie Albies, team best, 7 home runs, 23 RBI. And even if the bats go cold, Bryce Elder's got a 1.14 ERA, and he's yet to record a loss. Now, injury-wise, Luis Arias is questionable. Joey Wendell's still out. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, Darno, Arcia, and Harris still out for them. Atlanta's 9-3 to the over at Truist Park. Miami 64% to the over on the road. Atlanta minus 155, over 8. Next game, Pods. Yeah, Pods. Pods, Cubs, 740 East. San Diego, $1.20 total 8. Drew Smiley for Chicago. Michael Wacha for San Diego. Wacha, ERA in the 7s, 1.72 whip. And even if he pitches well, this is a Padres lineup who cannot get on base. Dead last in hits per 9 in the box. They're also going up against Drew Smiley. 23 strikeouts, 23 innings. ERA in the 3s, 0.91 whip. He's also backed by a Chicago lineup who leads the National League in hits per game. Nico Horner, Cody Bellinger, both hitting in the 300s. Patrick Wisdom leads the club in homers. Chicago went 5-3 to the over last 8. San Diego, 3 out of their last 5 on the road got over. Cubs plus $1, over 8. A's, Angels, 938 East. Angels, 220, total 9.5. Patty Sandoval for LA. Luis Medina for Oakland. Medina is making his debut here today, and I really don't think it matters. Oakland's got the worst record in baseball. They allow more runs and hits than any other franchise in the bigs. Their pitching staff's also walking a league-high 5.1 batters per 9. They rank dead last in strikeouts. They're facing an Angels lineup, top 5 in run production at home. Mike Trout, 326, OPS in the thousands. Hunter Renfroe and Shohei Ohtani, double-digit homers between the both of them. Walsh, Stassi, O'Hop, injured, still out for the Angels. Pena, Laureano, Brown, still on the bench for Oakland. Total-wise, A's, 10-2 to the over in their road trips, 71% to the over in all of their contests. Angels, -1.5, over 9.5. Next and final breakdown, Cards, Giants, 9:45 Eastern first pitch. St. Louis, $1.20, total 8.5. Steven Matz for St. Louis. Anthony DeSclafani for San Francisco. DeSclafani, ERA in the 2s, 0.88 whip. San Francisco pitching staff, they're fanning nearly double-digit hitters a game. They're also walking fewer batters per 9 than any other pitching staff in baseball. They're facing a St. Louis ball club on the other side of things. Bottom 5 in the National League in run production on the road. Struggling with the bats a little bit. And even if they do put up some runs here today, it's starting pitcher Steven Matz, who could cost them the game. Matz is 0-3 with an ERA in the 6s. When it comes to the total, St. Louis, 8 out of their last 11 road games fell under. San Francisco, 7-5 to the under as the home team. Give me San Francisco plus $1, under 8.5. Quick pick recap. Milwaukee, -1.5, under 8. Arizona, -1.5, over 8.5. Pittsburgh, +1.5, over 8.5 runs. Tampa Bay, -$1.20, over 8.5. Philadelphia, plus $1, over 8.5 runs. New York Mets, -1.5, over 8.5. Atlanta Braves, -155, over 8. Chicago Cubs, plus $1, over 8 runs. LA Angels, -1.5, over 9.5 runs. Next and final matchup, San Francisco, plus $1, under 8.5.